Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 between DJ Lingboy and Mork. Was watching a bit of the game, the last game, on the 3-minute delay that we have on the stream, and it looks like Mork was also sitting on 1,300 minerals at the end of the last game as well. So there's the main reason why.
It's not shocking. He didn't build any more units, and he didn't build any static D after his push with his roaches. So it's not shocking to me that he would have 1,300 minerals sitting around.
And he also said he was away from StarCraft for a bit, playing a lot of League of Legends, so perhaps he's just not in the swing of things.
Yes.
Perhaps he will be able to, he said rip mechanics, so his mechanics aren't where they used to be.
Falling apart.
We'll see if he's got a trick up his sleeve. He decided to pick this map. If you want to do your thing here.
Mr. MaximusBlack.
Yeah.
Hit me up with that old school noise. Up here in the top left-hand position of Prion, or Prion. I don't know which way they want to pronounce that. Terraces.
I think Prion sounds better.
We have Mork, and down bottom right we have DJ Lingboy.
Prion sounds like a shitty
Prius?
Yeah, it sounds like a shitty hybrid car.
Like Prius?
Yeah, get yourself a Prion. Now introducing
Get yourself
the new
a Prion.
2016 Prion. Get 500 miles per gallon.
Did you hear that Tesla had to recall?
I heard.
All of their cars for a seatbelt issue?
I heard. That's rough. That's rough.
I don't know if it's like a full-on recall, like where they're just taking it in.
I think you have to take it into
repairs.
Yeah, you have to take it into the shop and then they repair it.
So
they
it's similar. It's similar to the Toyota one where you just take it into the shop and they like spend literally 5 minutes.
Yep. It's just to cover their asses.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you get in a crash and your seatbelt is defective, that company is getting fucked. Straight up. Okay, so this map is vetoed for me. And here's the reason. It is the most OP map ever for Zerg. PvZ is like a nightmare. Their natural is here, and their third is here, but they always just take their third first because of the gold.
Yeah, we talked about this in our normal games this week.
That's right, yes.
And yeah, we covered this a couple times, and it you know, it always makes sense to bring up because it is kind of crazy. Now we're in a ZVZ, so all it's going to do is basically expedite the game, and already we're seeing a really early
I am loving LOVE, all caps, what Mork is doing here. He decided to stay on one base and get aggressive with Lings, trying to stop the gold from going up here. Unfortunately, he just does not have enough Lings. He didn't group his Lings together, and immediately DJ puts down a spine crawler. This is definitely a high-risk, high-reward maneuver from Mork, because if it fails, you're done, and it looks like it is already going to fail. He was streaming in those Lings like 2 at a time. He really just needed to get a bunch of Lings, wait for the metabolic to finish, because what he's doing right now is he's putting DJ into panic mode, where instead of just getting a bunch of drones to drone up and get that economy, he's now just getting a shit ton of Lings, and he's also got that spine crawler there. Yes, he's on 2 base, but one of them's gold, so it's pretty much like being on 3 bases.
Here's the thing. It's not even about that, because he's coming back down with Banelings now.
Well,
so
what he needs to do is he needs to abandon this, right? He's never going to kill this. He needs to go up into the base. This is what he's doing. He's going to bait around here. He's going to swing and hopefully get a big bust, and if he can get the bust, that is game. Just straight up. So this is crucial right here. How is DJ going to hold off? Oh, that wasn't a great Baneling bust. That also wasn't a great Baneling bust. I'm loving what DJ is doing. Look, he's taking off 3 or 4 Lings at a time and then just running them into those veins like he just did there. Beautiful play.
Yep. Which is what you got to do in that situation, because ultimately, I mean, he saved a lot more than he would have lost originally. And I mean, again, the only thing that I'm going to say here is that Mork, for all the damage he is doing, you have to remember his opponent
on
has
gold.
Yeah, and he's not expanding yet.
Nope.
Despite the fact that he has all these minerals, he's not expanding. He is committing hard.
Ooh, this is going to be game over.
This is it.
He doesn't see what a terrible place to morph your Banes, and he's just going to see this immediately. And I actually think that DJ has more Lings than he does right now. Yeah, he does. And DJ's going to go ahead and get some Banes of himself. And yes, he killed a lot of workers over here. Sure, 11 of them. But he's on gold. It's gold versus non-gold.
Yeah.
And look at the Lings. Now he's going to expand. This is never going to go down.
I mean, there you have it.
It's not good. He had the right idea, just did not execute it perfectly. And also, DJ just did such a great job at taking 3-4 lings at a time and killing off those Banes. And here comes some Banes of his own. All he needs to do really is just trade Banes for Banes, and he's going to win. He just has more lings.
Yeah, I mean,
and there it is.
It's all it is.
And oh my goodness,
Rip.
It's game over.
Rip.
His queen's going to go down. His 28 supply to 20. The gold has kicked in. A really, really great attempt. But,
back to league.
Well, even dropped the back to league.
Back to league. Well, I mean, again,
league will make you soft.
Even with mechanics not being there, it wouldn't have taken anything to drop his expansion, drop spine crawler, anything. He had twice the worker count after his initial attack, but forgot that his unit, his opponent's on gold. He's getting double the income, and when I clicked on the income tab, he was actually still behind in income per minute there. And it just all added up. I mean, beyond the fact that DJ Ling has way more APM, even despite that, it's not that Mort couldn't have held what he just saw there. He just made several, unfortunately, heavy mistakes.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I really liked his attempt, especially knowing that Zergs love to go for that gold first. Yep. It was like a metagame that just didn't work.
I liked it, but then he didn't, like you were first saying. It forced his opponent to get scared and overcompensate.
Well, because he showed his cards too early.
Exactly.
He just needed to wait a little bit longer, group up those lings. As soon as he sees the spine crawler, say, fuck this gold, I'm going to go up to the main, transition into those banelings, and do a better job that way. But he gave away too much, put his opponent into panic mode, and he was just preparing for it.
There's nothing wrong, but what I was going to say is there's nothing wrong putting them in panic mode, because he could have taken advantage of the panic mode.
Yeah, he could have expanded.
And then he expands.
Yeah.
Instead, he overcommitted after being too early, and that's what backfired there. If he had just expanded after that initial attack, he probably would have been in a way better position. Despite the fact that he was obviously not the highest level player versus his opponent, he would have had 2 base, he would have had the ability to pump out more units, and it would have been a much more successful run. And instead, he had to commit to this Ling Bling attack where he was running into the main, did some okay damage, but lost most of his main.
And another big thing is there was no natural between the third and the main. So when he was coming up with those banelings, they were really slow, and then he had speedlings, so he could just run and outmaneuver. Those banelings didn't have that extra creep help. There was he really just needed to catch his opponent. And once his opponent saw that the banelings were there, it was just a matter of running around in circles, taking a few lings, throwing them into those banes, and picking them off little by little.
Cleaning it up.
Sure, he was losing drones, but at the end of the day, he had the gold. So, I mean, for every one drone that he has on that gold, it's like having 2 or 3 of them. So,
exactly.
At that point, it didn't matter, and his opponent was still on 1 base in his main and didn't have the gold. So, economy-wise, DJ was never hurt, and he is going to scratch his way into the semifinals.
Didn't even have to put in that much effort.
It was fairly.
What's going to happen when he's tested? Will he remember to plug in his mixer?
Well, find out coming up here very shortly, guys. Go check out those sponsors: G2A, Lootcrate, and JORD. $20 off, 10% off, and 3% off.
I'm just waiting for the YouTube. Like, this is the shortest games.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. We're also in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, all the games are going to be a lot shorter. Yeah.
Games in general have shrunken in size, and this is what Blizzard wanted. They wanted, they still wanted They wanted to induce macro, but at the same time, they didn't want 40, 50-minute games where you're just sitting there. One person's got swarm hosts, the other person's got X, Y, and Z, and it's just an endless thing. Remember, these guys are get 12 workers you start with. It speeds the game up
much faster,
big time. So this isn't going to be out of the norm. This is going to be the normal thing. But we'll be back right after this, guys.
Peace.